whole assembly rose, repeating my last words. The galleries burst forth with reiterated acclamations, and the propositions of our colleague had not any result. Sieyès had caused the General Joubert to be named to the command of Paris. It was necessary to act. A pamphlet had dared to aver that it was not the Russians of Suvarar who were not to be feared, but the Russians of the councils. They decided to attack the elections with the director trial hard the next day, and above all to declare itself in permanence. The Directory had not yet answered the message of the 17th Prairial, where we demanded an account of our situation, interior and exterior. Poulain Grandpré, at the sitting of the 29th, proposed to send a second message, more peremptory, which should terminate by the terrible declaration that the council would remain in permanence until the answer of the government. That measure was carried by a great majority. The Council of Ancients followed our example. The Directory replied to us instantly that it would put itself, like us, in permanence, and that we should receive the next day all the information that we demanded upon the state of the Republic. It was accepting our challenge, but all the parts were distributed. But instead of adjourning till the next day, we continued our sitting all night. Bergasse came to announce at the tribune the elections of Trailhard, and he had not much trouble to convince us of the defects in the form. We were convinced beforehand. Scarcely would they listen to a courageous voice in favor of Trailhard. His election was annulled after 2 consecutive readings. At midnight, the Council of Ancients during the sitting confirmed our resolution. At near 4 o'clock in the morning, they suspended the legislative sittings till 10 o'clock. The next day, the message of the Directory upon the situation of affairs read at the tribune of the 500 was listened to with sullen silence and sent to the United Commissions. We proceeded to the nomination of 10 candidates to take the place of Trailhard. From that list, the ancients chose the citizen Goyer, ex-minister of justice, who had the advantage by some voices of Roger Ducos. Thus was the first part of the plan that had been agreed upon accomplished. The 30th Prairial, Bertrand de Calvados, pronounced against the message of the Directory a powerful philippic of logic and passionate movements. What then? The Directory thinks to justify itself in accusing the legislative body and in offering it a generous pardon? What an excess of audacity, perfidy, and dishonesty! What? When in the arsenal of Paris alone 133,000 guns were sold at 20 sous apiece, when they were worth at least 20 francs. And it is the legislative body whom they accuse for want of arms? What then? The ministerial reports fix the effective of our armies at 437,000 men, when at the same time they did not amount to 300,000. And they dare complain of the penury of the treasury? What? Because we have rejected the odious tax upon salt and have replaced it by 88 millions in new resources, they dare to reproach us with the deficit? Was it us who named your Rapina, your Chouret, your Scherer? And you talk of pardoning us instead of imploring for yourselves the generosity and commiseration of the French people? You have not placed in judgment the authors of your reverses, and you have dragged before the tribunal the chiefs who have gained our victories. You propose to us a reunion, and I propose to you to reflect. And if you can still preserve your functions, you have no longer our confidence. You can no longer do any good, but in retiring,